Welcome back to Tu Tieu _audio, where everyday stories are told with raw emotion and heartfelt narration. In today's video, we continue the emotional journey of Tu Tieu, the young woman who opened a small bakery in hopes of reuniting with her birth mother after 20 years apart. But fate had a cruel twist waiting for her. Can a broken heart still find the strength to seek the truth? Stay with us as we follow Tieu's steps, filled with heartbreak, but never without hope. After many years of longing, uncertainty, and a life full of silence, I finally found her, my mother. It had been over 2 decades since we were separated. So many years passed without a clue, without a trace. And now, here we are, under the same roof again, quietly brushing each other's hair like nothing had changed, yet everything had. "Your hair is a little dry and split at the ends," she said softly, her hands gently working through my strands. "Let me take you to the hair salon. They can take care of it for you." "No need, Mom," I replied with a smile. "My hair's gotten long. I'd feel bad cutting it." My heart trembled as I called her Mom. It still felt surreal. I had longed for this simple word my entire life. She looked at me tenderly. "It's good that we found each other." Just then, another woman walked in. She looked at me intently before speaking. "I have Mom's hair. Now, may I take a small sample of yours, too?" Her voice was cold but composed. "I need it for a DNA test. I need to know if you really are my mother's daughter." I nodded silently, trying not to take offense. I understood her doubts. She just wanted to protect her family. She took only a small strand and left quickly. "I'll bring the results to Mom soon," she said before leaving. My mother placed her hand on mine. "Don't worry," she said gently. "In my heart, you are still my daughter." I smiled, unsure of what the DNA would reveal, but warmed by her faith in me. Later that day, Mom suggested again, "Let's go to the hair salon, dear. Your hair deserves to shine." "All right, Mom," I replied. "Let me get my things first." As I moved around the house, she looked at me with wonder. "The more I see her, the more she reminds me of myself when I was younger," she whispered to herself. We headed out together, laughter and sunshine trailing behind us. At the salon, the stylist examined my hair. "It's quite dry and frizzy at the ends. I recommend trimming and straightening it a bit. That'll make it softer and easier to maintain." "That sounds good," I replied. "Let's go short then." As the scissors snipped away, I watched the damaged ends fall. In a way, it felt symbolic, shedding the past to make way for something new. I was filled with gratitude for the care and attention my mother was now giving me. I had never experienced that growing up. And now, I had a chance to feel it, even if just for a while. When we returned home, Mom said she had something special planned. "I'm going to cook dessert for you," she said cheerfully. "I'll make a sweet bean soup, perfect for summer." The house soon filled with the aroma of boiling beans, sticky rice, and the soft bubbling of tapioca pearls. In the kitchen, she prepared everything herself: black beans, mung beans, cassava starch, and brown sugar. I watched from the side, amazed at her dedication. "I want to make up for lost time," she said. "I want to make something you'll remember." I could feel her love in every stir of the spoon. The house was filled with a heavy silence the day the DNA results arrived. I stood in the living room, hands cold, heart pounding, as the woman I had called Mom for the past few days unfolded the paper with trembling fingers. Her daughter, my supposed sister, stood beside her, arms crossed, a bitter smirk tugging at her lips. She had returned only yesterday from abroad, beautiful and confident, but cold the moment she laid eyes on me. From the start, she assumed I was just the maid, and when she found out that our mother had brought home a girl claiming to be her long-lost daughter, her disgust was barely concealed. Now, everything hung on this piece of paper. A long pause. My eyes locked on the woman's face as she read. Her expression slowly changed, from confusion to disbelief, then to heartbreak. She looked up, her voice barely above a whisper. "The test says There's no biological relation. My world stopped. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. I just stood there, watching as my last hope shattered into silence. Her daughter, my supposed sister, took a step forward. "I knew it," she said sharply. "This girl isn't one of us. She's a liar." "No. There must be a mistake," I said, my voice cracking. I've searched for so long. I remember her face. The warmth of her arms when I was a child. She cut me off with a scoff. "That's enough. You've had your fun playing house, pretending you belong here. But it's time to go." I turned to the woman I had believed was my mother. She didn't speak. Her eyes welled with tears, but she said nothing, not a word to defend me, not even a whisper to stop her daughter's harsh words. "I'm sorry," she finally said, her voice weak. Maybe my memory betrayed me." "No," I said, my voice desperate. "You said you remembered me too. You said you saw it in my eyes." "That was before the test," her daughter snapped. "And now we have proof. You're not part of this family." She walked up to me, grabbed my wrist, and shoved a small bag into my arms, the things I had brought when I first arrived. "You have 5 minutes. I don't want to see you here again." The words cut deeper than any knife. I looked one last time at the woman I thought was my mother. She turned her face away. And just like that, I was no one again. I walked out of the house in silence. The sun was setting, and the cool wind stung my cheeks, though it was nothing compared to the storm inside me. Every step felt heavier than the last. I had come here with a heart full of hope, thinking I had finally found my family, that I could start again, that the pain of the past had finally led to healing. Instead, I left more lost than ever. Behind me, the gate closed with a cold metallic click. The streets were quiet as I wandered aimlessly, the evening wind whispering through the trees like it, too, knew my sorrow. I clutched the small bag in my hands, my only belongings, and stared ahead through blurry eyes. It felt like the world had spit me out once again. The dream I had built, of reunion and belonging, had collapsed before my very eyes. But strangely, amid the pain, there was a fire that refused to go out. The DNA test may have said I wasn't her daughter, but then why did I remember that lullaby? Why did I know the scent of her cooking? Why did the necklace around my neck, a trinket I had worn since childhood, match the one in the photo she kept hidden in her drawer? Something didn't add up. I paused on a park bench under a flickering streetlight and let the night's silence wrap around me. I wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. Yes, I had been cast out. Yes, I was humiliated. But the truth, the real truth about who I was, about where I came from, it had to be out there. Somewhere. Maybe the DNA test was wrong. Or maybe someone had tampered with it. Or maybe, and this thought hit me like lightning, maybe the woman who had welcomed me home wasn't my real mother after all. Maybe there was someone else. Someone still waiting for me. I took out the only thing I had that connected me to the past, an old, worn photograph of a young woman holding a baby. The baby was me, that much I was certain of. But the woman's face, it didn't quite match the one I had thought was my mother. Was I chasing the wrong shadow all along? A shiver ran down my spine. I looked up at the sky, dark and cloudless. "I'll find you," I whispered. No matter what. From that night on, my heart changed. The pain didn't disappear, but it hardened into purpose. I wouldn't beg to be accepted again. I wouldn't plead for a place where I didn't belong. Instead, I would create my own path, with or without anyone's approval. I moved into a small rented room behind the bakery I had once dreamed of opening. The oven was old. The walls were cracked. But it was mine. I began baking again, quietly, for the neighbors at first, using recipes that lived deep in my memory, recipes I could never forget no matter how far I ran. And every night, after closing the shop, would return to that one mission, searching. I began digging through old records, asking questions in orphanages, tracing the hospital where I had been left as a child. I reached out to anyone who might remember the girl with the star-shaped birthmark on her left shoulder, a mark that even the woman I thought was my mother had noticed. People said I was chasing ghosts. But I had learned something: even ghosts leave footprints. I didn't know where this journey would lead me. I didn't know if I'd ever find her, my real mother, or if she even wanted to be found. But one thing I did know: I would not stop. Because even in the face of rejection, even after being called a liar and thrown out like I was nothing, I knew I was someone. I just had to prove it. To the world. To her. And most of all, to myself. Tu Tieu's story is far from over. It's a journey with no clear end, but one illuminated by unwavering faith and inner strength. Even after being pushed away by those she believed to be family, she chooses not to give up. For she believes that the truth, no matter how deeply buried, will one day come to light. If you're also feeling lost, may her story bring you a little comfort and courage. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Tu Tieu_audio for more heartfelt stories like this. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video.